Hi, this is Tim from bn-games.com, and we're doing another classic capture. This time we're doing something a little different. This time we are doing e-reader for the Game Boy Advance. For this capture we're doing something also a little different. We're actually going to use it on the GameCube Game Boy player. So this right here is your standard e-reader, pretty much extinct these days. Kind of a crazy idea Nintendo had. Goes, right in the GameCube. Got your port right here for the link cable. Something interesting that they added. E-reader also has one up here. Okay, so it just simply plugs straight in. You have all of these, which I think this is Series 1. I'm not sure if they had 2 or 3 series of these. This is mostly complete to my knowledge. Have like Golf, Mario Brothers, Excitebike, Pinball, Donkey Kong Jr. These are all pretty much the classics you could get on the NES. I think this was like Nintendo's first kind of re-release of them. This was still before the NES Classics on the Game Boy Advance. So today the one we're going to do, which I have neatly stored in Donkey Kong, is not Donkey Kong, because we already did that. It is a special one. Can't remember how I got it, but it is the Game & Watch e-reader collection. This one specifically is called Manhole. Yeah, funny name. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play this one, so into the video.
As Timmy was saying, we're playing the e-reader here on the Game Boy Advance add-on player for the GameCube, and the e-reader boots up. In this instance, we're doing it on the GameCube, obviously, so you can see it in this video. And you scan the cards that have these little dots, and basically you have a couple of different options here. Excitebike was the last.
That one's one that I actually have saved on the e-reader.
Yeah, so you don't have to re-scan it. And basically, you slide the card over like you would your ATM card or through a, when you go to pay for something. Yeah. But you gotta do it really slowly, otherwise you get a read error.
Yeah, because it's like a little mini QR barcode kind of scanner. This one, being it's such a small game, only has 2 codes. Certain games have more than 6 cards, each with 2 codes that you have to scan in sequence before playing the game. So it's kind of it's a bit of work for being able to play a classic on your Game Boy.
Yeah, and the technology behind that is to upload the bits of data that the game is comprised of, because these games, even back in the day on the NES cards, were not large at all. And all the games that are available on the e-reader were really small NES games. They didn't have a lot of memory. They didn't require large amounts of storage space on the NES cart. So that's what allows you to store them in this format, like a barcode.
Yeah,
essentially what it is.
There were also some other games that use the e-reader. I'm not sure about the GameCube games. I know there was a couple. I'm not sure which ones offhand. But there was
Animal Crossing was one. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, okay. And then also, for a while, several of the actual Pokemon trading card game cards had e-reader things that would actually give you items for, like Ruby, Sapphire.
Also, Mega Man Battle Network 4 and above had functionality for that.
Okay, yeah, see, so... I mean, it had some, interesting ways to incorporate different advanced games and even GameCube stuff.
So after we've loaded, Game & Watch collection, Manhole, and it's a very basic game. This, if you didn't know, Nintendo had made a lot of handheld games that were on crystal displays.
Very reminiscent of the DS.
Easy 2-button D-pad.
Tiger, the old Tiger handhelds, if you remember those. That's a lot of what this was.
It was pretty much the predecessor to that.
But it looked like a DS.
And if you're not familiar with who Game & Watch was, he was never a major player as far as Nintendo was concerned until, I would say, the Smash Brothers series.
Well, Game & Watch was actually just a series of games. The character itself is just kind of a basic. I mean, it's not really...
Mr. Game & Watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really the actual character, because he's actually from a specific game.
Yeah.
But I mean, Game & Watch was basically the collection, but I mean, as most people know him from Smash Brothers, whether you want to land. What was the number?
10.
That was like, yeah,
You get 10. That's automatic.
It's like just home run
Knockout.
that.
The reason why we're showing you this game instead of maybe like Excite Bike, for example, is because Excite Bike is on the NES, and there were very few exclusive, if not, this is probably the only one that we know of, actual games that exist for the e-reader. So, we can't create a series of them because, if we did Excite Bike, why would we do it on the e-reader card when we could just use the NES cart, for example? So, it's a fun thing if you have it. And those cards are super cheap. The e-reader's like $20 now?
Less than that. Also, one of the things is that some of the e-reader functions, because of the buttons layout for like the GameCube controller, at
Yeah,
least
it
on
doesn't
here.
work.
Yeah, like I tried Excite Bike. You can't use the editor.
Yeah, I mean it's it's a fun novelty, and it didn't last because
It was a gimmick. I mean,
Yeah.
you can read the article I wrote.
All right, everyone. Well, this was a classic capture for the e-reader and Game & Watch collection on the e-reader. Please subscribe and let us know what you think.
Captain Olimar.
Thank you.